Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, turning our attention now to a different matter. It has to do with the Constitution. Well, there's a group, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, did give the federal government some ultimatum to repeal the 1999 Constitution. Well, now we've got Professor Yusufu Turaki, who was also listed in the signatories of those who signed that communique. He joins us this morning. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us today on the program. Now, looking at that communique, given the federal government 90 days to repeal the 1999 Constitution, well, straight away, you have several people who will say, wait a minute, but this is not going to happen. What is the thinking behind that ultimatum?
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't get what you said.
Well, this 90-day ultimatum that the group gave the federal government, well, many think that this is not realistic. This is not going to happen. What is the thinking behind that?
Well, you said that, are you saying that we do not have the will to do that, or what is the problem?
No, I'm asking you, if you're giving the federal government 90 days to repeal that, how is that ever going to happen within 90 days?
We already outlined the steps how that could be done. If you read the proclamation clearly stated the details how that could be done peacefully.
But this is not the first time there's been a similar requests by different groups, even members of that group. And here we are still talking about the same thing.
Well, you are thinking about talking about the same thing. We're talking that is on ground in the country now. Is Nigeria governable now? Is there any security in the country now? Are Nigerians happy with the way things are? There is too much crisis, too much confusion, and there is not just direction, no clear direction. The situation is getting worse and worse, and you know the reason. The reason is because of the 1999 Constitution that was imposed upon Nigerians. And that is where the heart of our problem is. The 1999 Constitution is the biggest problem that Nigeria faces.
Prof, well, a number of people would also ask the question, how will repealing the 1999 Constitution, suspending it from being used to swearing, public officers going forward, and repealing it eventually within 90 days, as your body is proposing, how is it going to solve any problem?
You are not repealing it within 90 days. The 90 days are given the procedures that Nigerians can take in order to reach what is the demands of all Nigerians. So you are saying 90 days is not for you to dismantle the government. No. We are not attacking the Nigerian government. No. We are asking the Nigerian government to set up a machinery whereby within these 90 days we have fruitful and engaging discussions. We have a very excellent example which took place in South Africa in 1990. You see, South Africa was ruled by apartheid system. They did not dismantle the government in South Africa when apartheid constitution was phased out. We're not asking for government to stop, no. We're not asking for politicians who run the government to vacate their positions, no. We're asking for a forum which could be created where all ethnic nationalities in this country could have a roundtable discussion and chart the way forward. So the 90 days is a period whereby we set up a machinery for real discussion as Nigerians for the way forward. We cannot continue in this situation in the country. The country is ungovernable now. Look at insecurity everywhere. Look at Nigerians are not happy with what is going on. So there's something fundamentally wrong. And that thing that we have identified that is wrong is the 1999 Constitution.
That communique, you requested the government to convene a sovereign national conference to determine and set in place modalities, upon which several other actions will be predicated. Does that then suggest that all of the previous conferences we've had with all of those recommendations, if they were implemented, will not address the issues?
Let me be frank to state this. If the 2014 National Conference, if the resolutions of that conference were implemented, Nigeria today wouldn't be in a situation and in a chaotic state that we are today. I was a member of the 2014 National Conference, which was established and set up by the previous government, led by President Jonathan Goodluck. The recommendations that were proposed in that conference could have stemmed the tide of what is going on currently in the country today. And therefore, we can say that the unwillingness of Nigerians to address the fundamental question, and that is the question that Nigerians have to address if they really want to have a peaceful, united country, where everybody lives and where everybody feels that he is a citizen and he is secured, and that everything is done according to social justice.
Why then do we need to convene a new sovereign national conference if we can implement the recommendations of the 2014 confab?
Well, we have refused to do that. What I was saying is that if that constitution, with that, if the resolutions of the 2014 National Conference were implemented, we wouldn't be discussing what we are discussing now.
So when the communique, the part that reads that the Constitution should not be used in swearing in elected officials, what's the thinking behind this? Because if that conference comes on, we don't know the timeline or the modalities because we don't know what people will agree or disagree with. We have elections in between. Next year.
Nigerians are intelligent people. Nigerians can create a situation or a template whereby things could be done that will bring about peace and unity in this country. I hope you are not saying that Nigerians cannot solve their own problems intelligently.
We're trying to understand the thinking behind the communique because, I mean, what if the 2014 is there? So would it have been out of place if the group has suggested implementing that of 2014?
We are not talking about 2014. I was the one who was making reference to it. We are not.
I know, I understand that.
So we are not talking about the 2014 resolutions, which Nigerians who are in power rejected it. We have gone beyond that. We are talking about the rights, the historical freedom of all ethnic nationalities. All ethnic nationalities historically have existed before the formation of the Nigerian state. And we are saying that the 1999 Constitution has actually, what I would say that is that the 1999 Constitution was imposed upon the unwilling Nigerians. So we are working with something that is not workable. Okay.
Well,
and that is why our position is that the 1999 Constitution was a fraudulent Constitution. It did not represent the will of all Nigerians. The Constitution was created by a clique. And that clique, after finishing its work, it imposed this authoritarian Constitution upon Nigerians.
Well, Prof, a number of people have said the same thing, saying that the 1999 Constitution, hasn't worked or isn't working and all of that. Just to be clear, for many people who have listened to the same thing and are wondering, just what is wrong with the 1999 Constitution?
Oh, you really want to know what is wrong?
Yes, sir.
Let's go back into history. The amalgamation of the Northern Protectorate and Southern Protectorate by Lieutenant Colonel Lugard in 1914. All the groups that represented these two territories sat down together and created the concept that we call Nigeria. At independence 1960, when the British decided to grant independence to Nigeria, prior to independence, 1st October 1960, Nigerians, both North and South, at that time we have three major regions: the Northern region, Western region, Eastern region. They held several meetings to discuss the Constitution of Nigeria. And all of them agreed that Nigeria should have a federal system of government. In January 15, 1966, the military coup that toppled the Nigerian civilian government. It is from that 1966 military coup up to the 1999, the creation of 1999 Constitution. What we have at hand and what we have been working on from 1966 to this very present today is that we have not been working based upon true federalism. What I can say, what we have today is an authoritarian, bureaucratic statism. And what I mean by that, authority is given to the state. That is the government, the government of Nigeria, that we call federal government. And then bureaucracy. It is being run by bureaucrats. Now, what has happened in the before 1966, Nigeria was a federation. You have the North having its own constitution, the West and the East, they all have their constitutions. But they come together in a federation where these three major regions, they were the federating units of Nigeria. Today we don't have that. We have an authoritarian, bureaucratic statism. That is that the government, that you have a unitary state, whereby decisions are taken from one center. Now, that actually eroded the federalism that we all agree upon in establishing Nigeria. And that is the root of the problem, that we have moved away from true federalism, where the federating units, all the ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, in the north, in the west, in the east, all these federating ethnic nationalities, they came together and agreed upon how Nigerian governmental structures should be established and even its constitution. Now, what we have in 1999 constitution is a different thing. Nigerians did not discuss the 1999 constitution. It was created and it was imposed, and Nigerians since 1999 have been crying out.
Well, Prof,
This constitution.
pardon me to jump in. We're winding down now, so we won't have time to bring in the role Justice Nikki Toby's committee played in the 1999 Constitution. But if I could ask you this as we wind down. So what if they don't accede to these demands? What next?
Who?
Don't accede to these demands. What happens next?
Who is the fellow who will not agree to it?
You issued an ultimatum to the government to convene a conference.
Oh, yes.
So what if they don't accede to that?
It is contained in our proclamation. Okay? If you read our proclamation, we gave a reason as to what to do next. But our prayers is not that the government will refuse. You see, what we are presenting to government is a proposition. And if a government is interested in lasting peace and united Nigeria, then the government should be able to set up a machinery, a system, a transition whereby all the ethnic nationalities in this country can have a round table to sit down and discuss and fashion out the type of constitution or the type of Nigerian system, government system that they would like to establish.
All right, then, Professor.
Yes.
Oh, pardon me, Professor Yusufu Turaki. We need to wrap up at this time. We do thank you for your perspectives this morning on the program.
All right. Thank you very much. And it is my prayer that Nigerians will see this as a good reason whereby all Nigerians can begin to address the fundamental issues and problems facing this country. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
All right,
God
Professor.
bless.